With apologies to Coach Moore, we are talking playoffs here on the Telegram Football Insiders. Josh Wallace alongside Foster Lander. Foster, we're going to start in 1A. We'll throw the bracket up here for you. North Edgecombe, the 11th seed. Both of us kind of think they got an outside chance of maybe making a little bit of run. You know, where do you think the Warriors season may potentially end here?
North Edgecombe got a really good draw with some of the teams that they get to see, but the main thing for me is whether or not they're healthy. If Ahmad Lyons and Antoine Pittman and some of these guys are even, if they're 50, 60, 70%, then North Edgecombe's going to have a tough time.
Yeah, definitely. They start with the Pamlico County team out there, all the way out east. But again, both sporting matching 5-5 records. Pamlico has played a little bit better over the last couple of weeks than North Edgecombe. But if North Edgecombe's able to get through that, they could potentially have a trip to Weldon. And if that sounds familiar, Warriors fans, it's because they already played and beat Weldon fairly handedly earlier this season on the road. So those are two very favorable matchups before they have to go to Chocowindy South Side again. They played them last year, a wickedly high-scoring shootout that they played there. The Seahawks coming away with a touchdown victory. But Antoine Pittman ran for 350 yards and 7 scores. I don't think North Edgecombe is going to have much of a problem scoring on Southside this year. Again, the question is, can they keep Southside off the board? If we're going to go bold here, I say that they do keep Southside off the board and then they run into Plymouth and lose. But this is a team that has the talent to make a run to the third, maybe even the fourth round. The question is, as you said, can they stay healthy enough? We'll switch to a team that both you and I think has a shot to not only make it all the way, but potentially actually win a state title. That's the 1AA. We'll throw that bracket up there for you guys. Tarboro, the 2 seed, meaning that they have at least 3 home games, assuming they continue to win before Wallace Rose Hill. Let's not worry about tonight. They're playing Rocky Point Trask in the first round. Trask is a 2-win football team that's coming to Tarboro in playoff time. Good luck. But they got an interesting matchup in the potential in the second round with your Rosewood or Lakewood, 2 teams out of James Keenan's conference, and obviously potentially James Keenan in the 3rd seed. I'll stop talking now and I'll let you talk about a team you know very well in Tarboro. How do you think this plays out for Tarboro?
Well, and this is something we wrote about in I guess today's paper that we've talked all year about Tarboro's youth and all these sophomores and Fuki Williams, Devontae Davis, JoJo Lyons, but at this point in the year they're really not sophomores, and Jeff Craddock would tell you that much. So they've got 10, 11 games under their belt now, and as long as they can take care of the football and hopefully the defense can keep forcing turnovers, Tarboro's got as good a shot as they've had in a while to get to an Eastern final. Yeah,
and maybe even getting to Winston-Salem in a state title game. This is by far Jeff Craddock's best team since the Vikings went to 5 straight state title games just a couple years ago. But the only team to defeat the Vikings this year is Southwest Edgecombe. They drew the 2 seed in the 2A bracket, which was extraordinarily favorable for them. The less amount of travel they have to do, the better for the Cougars. We talk a lot about Marcus Williams and kind of what he brings to Southwest, but how much do you think it's going to help them to be able to play at home through at the very least the 3rd round?
I think so. I mean, obviously, the biggest thing, in our opinion, for home field advantage in high school is just the fact that they don't have to travel, and that a lot of these teams might have to make long trips to Pine Tops, which is not an easy place to go play. So that's where I see the biggest advantage for them.
Yeah, but the team coming tonight, Farmville Central, is not coming from far. B, they've made the trip. They've made the trip a couple of times. Southwest did beat them in the regular season. It's a rematch of a conference game. I'm curious to see how Southwest looks now that they have a little bit of a winning streak to build off of entering this game, as opposed to the last time where they played, where they were coming off a week where they just got shellacked by Washington. But we'll end in the 3A. We'll throw the bracket up for you here. Potential for a Southern Nash Rocky Mount High regional final. I think both you and I both start laughing because of how ridiculous that potentially sounds. But we'll start with the Firebirds. Going on the road as an 83 football team to a team that finished 9-1. Very tough break if you're Southern Nash, and there's a lot of reasons for that we can get into way later down the road when the NCHSA has a chance to potentially change its rules. But what does Southern Nash need to do if they're going to go to West Craven and pull off the upset.
Yeah, and it was not a great draw for Brian Foster's team, and he would tell you as much, but he's also not really one to complain. Southern Nash has played its best game so far this year when Zach Foster has been turnover free, when he's had a little bit of time to throw. They have too many playmakers to not give Zach Foster a little bit of time to throw the football. So if they can do that, they'll be in pretty good shape.
Definitely, and turnovers, as we mentioned, they cost the Firebirds every single time they play a big game. It seems like cost them past years in the playoffs against Eastern Wayne. Speaking of Eastern Wayne, that's a potential second-round opponent for Rocky Mount High. They host Burlington Williams. Again, they got a very favorable draw. You know, Eastern Wayne, Burlington Williams, both teams that are below 500 this year. Question really is, and we'll project out to the third round here against Havelock. Is there a chance that Rocky Mount High can get past a perennial title contender in Havelock?
Yes and no, and we talked about this a little bit off camera a little while ago, and that Havelock beat Greenville Rose, which absolutely destroyed Rocky Mount High earlier this season. But Rose's passing offense was really what killed Rocky Mount, and Havelock didn't quite have that. So if they get there, Rocky Mount obviously will have to play its best game of the season, but they played Apex Middle Creek, a really good 4A team, tough, and so I don't see why not.
Definitely, but what we think about the brackets is irrelevant. They still have to play it on the field, and we'll be back here on Saturday morning recapping all 5 teams and how they did in the first round of the state playoffs.